Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the gym. It is your guy, Boulanger. Up next, or the conversation about who stays and who goes. Let's talk. The Baltimore Ravens, just like the other 31 teams around the NFL, are 1 week away from making big-time moves as it pertains to constructing a winning roster for 2025. And you've already seen teams all around the league make moves to get under the cap and or to make cap space. You've seen the San Francisco 49ers trade Deebo Samuel to the Washington Commanders. You've seen Seattle most recently release Tyler Lockett. You've seen rumors about Joey Bosa being released or traded. You've seen all kind of conversations happening around the league about roster turnover. You've seen even a conversation or an article where the Rams, who just signed their left tackle Ulrich, sending him to Chicago. So you're seeing all kind of creative ways for a team to get draft capital, to create cap space, and just to build a roster that they think could win a championship. And so for the Baltimore Ravens, the reason why it's a conversation of right? Because we're in the same boat as many teams. We didn't have but about $6 million in cap space as we prepare for the 2025 offseason. And so we have a lot of big questions on our roster. Guys like Mark Andrews, will he stay or will he go? Guys like Marlon Humphrey, will he stay or will he go? Or maybe a deeper conversation is, will it be this player or that player? So let's break bread into this conversation, and let's look at the offense first, and we'll have the defense in a separate video. When we look at offense, we're looking at a talented offense at multiple levels. And some of the things that we know are true is that the Baltimore Ravens are going to retain Derrick Henry. Simply, he's under contract, and they are going to work on an extension to get his cap number lower. So we definitely know he'll be there. We definitely know Justice Hill will be there. We definitely know some of the supplemental running backs will be there. But it's along the offensive line that we begin to have some questions. Will it be Ronnie Stanley or Patrick McCarry? I don't think they can re-sign both. I don't think they will sign both. And so who's more valuable, or do we let both of them leave? Do we let both of Ronnie Stanley and McCarry leave, hoping to get compensation in next year's draft and, bring in some fresh life? Who knows? But I know that it's going to be a decision that must be made pretty quickly. We've all heard conversations that the priority for this offseason was to bring back Ronnie Stanley. And I'm not here to tell you that's the right choice or the wrong choice, but I'm telling you for sure it has to be done at the right price if he is retained, and it has to be done for the right amount of years. The Baltimore Ravens cannot afford to sign Ronnie Stanley for anything longer than a 2-year deal as it pertains to guaranteed money. And if they go 3 years, that third year has to be totally unguaranteed. Well, Belanger, why are you saying that? Why must it be no less than 2 years of guaranteed money? Here's why. Because anything in a 3-year deal or longer will put Ronnie Stanley into his mid-30s, but it will begin to creep into Tyler Lindenbaum contract talks. The Baltimore Ravens absolutely will pick up Tyler Lindenbaum's 5th-year option. That's going to be no question. But too long of an extension for too much money for Ronnie Stanley, which could then get into dead cap money and all those kind of things, then begins to compromise the Baltimore Ravens being able to retain Tyler Lindenbaum. See, because it's always going to be a cap space issue when you're trying to win a championship. So not only is it Ronnie Stanley or Patrick McCarry, it's Ronnie Stanley or Tyler Lindenbaum. And I know the obvious choices. You will always take Lindenbaum, the younger talent, over Ronnie Stanley. But we don't always know that that's how the Baltimore Ravens are going to operate. But let's not stop right there. Let's look at Isaiah Likely or Mark Andrews. I think that's really where we are. I think that the Baltimore Ravens will get a contract done for one of these tight ends. I think that Kolar is the least likely option to get a contract extension. So I think it's going to land with either Isaiah Likely or Mark Andrews. In truth, if the Baltimore Ravens extend Mark Andrews, I think it's going to cost them Isaiah Likely. See, because whatever Mark Andrews gets in a contract extension will absolutely set the market for Isaiah Likely. Isaiah Likely, simply put, is the next best tight end up for getting paid. And so he's ahead of Kincaid or Laporta or some of these younger guys who've come in and balled out. So he's the next guy. So a Mark Andrews extension will set the market basically for Isaiah Likely. So what is that called? Bidding against yourself. So I think it's going to be Isaiah Likely or Mark Andrews. This is not about Mark Andrews and his playoff performance or lack thereof. This is simply about the right now and the future the Baltimore Ravens. So it's going to be Isaiah Likely or Mark Andrews. It just can't be both. And it can't be both. I know we always like to, build talent and retain talent, but in truth, we've given out some bad contracts that have compromised our ability to retain quality talent sometimes. And I think that a Mark Andrews extension will compromise a signing of Isaiah Likely. And here's another question. Is it Patrick Ricard, or do the Baltimore Ravens replace him in the draft if they want a fullback? You see, because Ricard is a multi-time Pro Bowler, he's not taking no pennies on the dollar to come back to Baltimore. He's a 305-pound, 6'3" monster of a fullback, and there will be a lot of teams who are willing to take on Ricard to power their running game, just like he helped out Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson this past season. And I think that's another big question. So I'm super interested to see, is it Ricard or is it a draft pick? The smart choice is going to the draft. I know how the Baltimore Ravens like their long-term favorites. I know how the Baltimore Ravens seem to be scared sometimes to move forward and do something different. But I think that we have some tough decisions ahead. And so you guys tell me what you guys think. Do you think it's Isaiah Likely or Mark Andrews? Do you think it's Ricard or a draft pick? Do you think it's Ronnie Stanley or Patrick McCarry? And if Ronnie Stanley's extension is too long, it then comes down to Ronnie Stanley or Tyler Lindenbaum. You guys let me know what you want me to know. The conversation of who will or who won't stay. I'm your guy Boulanger. This is the GM. Stay tuned for the defensive version in our next video, and I'm out.